Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
Verdict: super smug. While watching the new Marvel spectacular Deadpool Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as the two title characters, it occurred to me that maybe there is a more expressive way of rating films than giving them stars. Instead, we could confer on them a number of emojis, those little symbols used in text messaging. Thus, 5 crying with laughter emojis could denote a wonderful comedy, with a disappointing horror film getting a single shriek. As for Deadpool Wolverine, would have to reach for 3 self-satisfied smirks. It is superhero cinema at its smirkiest, a movie that will be rapturously applauded by some, while greatly testing the patience of others. I have a foot in both camps. While there's nobody better than Reynolds at wooing the audience with a nod and a wink, he works so hard at dismantling the so-called fourth wall that by the end there's hardly any of it left. The script, co-written by Reynolds, further assumes that everyone going to see this film will know all about Disney's 2019 acquisition of 20th Century Fox, which meant that characters from the Disney-owned Marvel Cinematic Universe could henceforth hook up with those from Fox's X-Men series. The jokey references to this merger, and to Hollywood politics generally, quite quickly become tiresome. A film can be too glibly self-aware by half. Indeed, it is almost a surprise not to find Reynolds, famously also the co-owner of Wrexham AFC, at any point sporting a club scarf, like Eric Morecambe waving a Luton Town placard during his Roman Empire playlet with Glenda Jackson. And yet for all that, Shawn Levy's Deadpool Wolverine is sometimes funny, sporadically very funny, and introduces a splendidly improbable new baddie in the form of Emma Corrin's Cassandra Nova, as bald as an egg but much harder to crack. The plot, as always in these films, is the standard baffling multiverse nonsense, but beefed up with copious swearing and sex gags in an apparent bid to persuade us that comic book silliness is really for grown-ups. It begins with Wade Wilson, Reynolds, working as a used car salesman with his pal Peter, Rob Delaney, having applied unsuccessfully, as his Deadpool alter ego, to join the Avengers. Gloomy and purposeless, he is propelled back into the world of superheroics by a sly boffin called Mr. Paradox, enjoyably played by Matthew Macfadyen as a sci-fi version of Sneaky Tom from TV hit Succession. And to save the galaxy from evil Cassandra, he joins forces with Jackman's grumpy Logan, aka Wolverine, long presumed dead. The pair have solid chemistry and send up their uneasy alliance with panache. "Have you been checked for ADHD?" asks Wolverine, not unreasonably. But the effect of all those in-jokes, all that smirking, is to make this movie a send-up of a send-up, leaving us with the awkward impression that the cast might be having more fun than the audience. Verdict: a leaky vessel. There's a parodic feel, too, to the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Guy Ritchie's ham-fisted attempt to bring to life an excellent book about one of the most remarkable escapades of World War II. The book, by Damian Lewis, is called Churchill's Secret Warriors, and its subtitle calls it an explosive true story, which it is. Operation Postmaster was a top-secret 1942 mission which broke international law and was carried out by a small group of iconoclastic commandos, with the blessing of Winston Churchill, Rory Kinnear. Led by Major Gus March Phillips, Henry Cavill behind a luxuriant bush of facial hair, the aim was to disrupt German U-boats wreaking havoc by disabling their supply vessels. It's an amazing yarn, but Ritchie botches it. The script is as lackluster as the acting is clunky. The normally reliable Kinnear, fat-suited up, makes a lousy Churchill, looking like a bad waxwork. And the Carry-On films had more convincing femmes fatale than Isa Gonzalez, left, playing the estimable Marjorie Stewart with hardly a shred of plausibility. Moreover, any tension dissolves as soon as you realize that every Nazi is a dimwit who can't shoot straight. My advice is to read the book instead. It's terrific. Deadpool Wolverine is in cinemas now. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is on Prime Video. Verdict: Oscar-laden Olympics classic is still a winner. To use the Chariots of Fire vernacular, what an absolutely capital idea it is to re-release Hugh Hudson's 1981 dram.